Good morning, beloveds. I hope you have a day where you have nothing you have to do. There are things that I'm going to do. There are things that need to be done, but there's nothing that I have to do. So, you need to have one of those in your life. The Blue Jays were all snatch and grabs today. Till the very end where they kind of came out to play a little bit, but I was just like, We saw the woodpecker once, no sign of the cardinal. But we did see the ducks. There would have been one incredible shot had I had my camera out and up where I could have gotten the ducks flying over with the moon in the background. Did I get it? No. Am I envisioning it? Yes. All right. It is July 8th. Our title is God's Help. Our author is Mary L. Kupferle from Help Without Delay from 1955. And she is from Unity. All right, July 8th, God's help. No matter what problem of difficulty you are facing today, God's answer is already on its way to you. In the midst of inharmony or confusion, in the face of fear or grief, remind yourself that God's answer is already seeking you out. God's help, which comes to us whenever we need it, may come through a friend, or it may come in the form of a stabilizing thought, a feeling of increased insurance, a renewal of courage, a new stage of life, a new surge of life, strength and joy. We do not always know what the channel for our blessing will be, or its method of reaching us, but we may be sure that the help we need in any given situation will reach us without delay. God is the giver of all good. God's blessings are never withheld, but are poured out continuously and abundantly upon us and our lives. Our part is to keep ourselves open and receptive to it, to God, to Spirit, to keep ourselves ready and willing to receive that good. And that's kind of the kicker there. As she said, God's good. the answer to anything that we are working on is already exists in the mind of God. Absolutely. Already exists in the mind of God. Simply because God does not have any problems. God has answers. We create problems. And it's just us figuring it out. But the good news is the answers are already in existence. The question becomes, are we open and willing to receive them? And that's one of the reasons why we talk about not limiting God. When we treat for something, we don't ever want to say, and it's got to come this way, because then we limit the infinite ways that Spirit can bring them to us. And she gave you several good examples. It might come through a friend. It might come through a stabilizing thought. It might come simply through a surge of that feeling, that life, that joy. It's like in those moments where things look, you look around and you go, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you take a deep breath and you go, and there is the beginning of your answer. There is the beginning of your answer. That's one of those things that I'm a big believer in, no matter what is going on. It can be a chaotic mess, but the good is already there because you bring the good with you. So you take that deep breath and you get that stabilizing, thought. You get that surge of life, and then you get the beginnings of the answer. It's either Hafiz or Rumi, and I never remember who it is. It's like when joy heard your name, when love heard your name, when the answer heard your name, it started running through the streets shouting your name. Okay. In this case, I think it's either joy or love, but that's what she's talking about. That's what Mary's talking about. Absolutely. The answer to whatever it is that you are working on already exists. And the question, of course, becomes, are you open to all of the avenues that God can bring you that answer? You may have a random conversation with a stranger, and the answer that you were seeking, it just tumbles out of their mouth. They have no idea, but they've said what you needed to hear. And it happens like that. You might be watching something on TV and you hear what you need to hear. And you're like, all right then. It doesn't always come through avenues like this. Not when we are speaking directly about spirit and saying, you know what? No, it comes in all of these random, amazing ways. And it's just us. It's up to us to be willing to see it when it happens and to recognize that it's all spirit. And that, I think that's kind of one of those keys. It's like, recognizing that it's all God. It's like, you can have the most random conversation with the most random person that has nothing to do with spirit to get the answer you're looking for. You know, they may just say the one thing and you're like, okay, this is and it sends you off in the direction you need to go. You never know. You never know. You know, you might drive past a place a dozen times and then one day it catches your attention and you go there and you go, okay. So, but the point of today's reading, absolutely the point of today's reading is God's help is always available and it's always coming to you. And I think that's what is really important to hear. It's always, you don't have to go looking for it. You just have to be open to it when it arrives. And that's the really amazing thing. That's the really amazing thing. It's already on its way to you. And it has so many channels to get to you. And it's like, if you don't get it through one channel, it'll come another. But the more open you are, the quicker you'll get the answer that you've been seeking. The quicker you'll get the help that you've been asking for. So, you know, keep your eyes open and just know God's help. And I love that she says God's help, which comes to us whenever we need, may come through a friend, or it may come in the form of a stabilizing thought, a feeling of increased assurance, a renewal of courage, a new surge of life, strength, or joy. We do not always know what the channel our blessing will be. In fact, most of the time, we have no idea what channel it's going to come through. Sometimes we do, because we know where to go for the answer. And I would suggest always the first place you go is within. Go to the source of your own being. And once you've done that, then you're open to all of the possibilities. All right? But we may be sure that the help we need in any given situation will reach us without delay. All right? God is the giver of all good. God's blessings are never withheld, but poured out continuously and abundantly upon us and our lives. Our part, and here it is, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to keep ourselves open and receptive to spirit. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, to keep ourselves open and receptive to spirit and all of the amazing channels and ways that spirit comes to us. And remember, through us. She did say a stabilizing thought. Sometimes the answer that you seek will come through you. In fact, oftentimes it does. At least the beginnings. Or sometimes the end. Sometimes you got all the pieces except one, and there it is. So, you got your mission today. The second part of the mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is the mission of self-care. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Big or small, it does not matter. The point is to do something. To practice on yourself. And I say that for multiple reasons. One, you are your own best test subject. Is this the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing I can do? Well, you get immediate feedback. Practice on yourself. Two, I'm encouraging you to create a habit. I would like you to create a habit of self-care. To take care of yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You don't necessarily want your cup to be completely full because then there's no room for anything new. But you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself. And then three, I want you to create a well-worn path to the source of your own being, which is the source of infinite love, infinite kindness, infinite compassion. I thoroughly encourage this. And then, of course, last but not least, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Now, I give you a couple of simple suggestions to take a deep breath before you speak to yourself or others. to take a walk, to take a nap, to take a break, to say no, to say yes. You know, both of those are loving, kind, and compassionate. You know, say no to the things that you really don't want to do and say yes to the things that'll push you out of your comfort zone. You know, try that. Try that. All right. I was going to say something else and I don't remember what it was, but I'm going to remind you of my favorite thing. You know, one of the most loving, kind, and compassionate things you can do? Chocolate. I love chocolate. I try not to eat too much of it, and I try and make sure that I pick really good quality chocolate when I do that, because chocolate is a health food. Although when it's covered in sugar and dairy, maybe not. So, you know, but good dark chocolate, that is absolutely a health food. Which leads you back to where I say eat dessert first. I say it as a loving, kind, and compassionate thing for you. And what I mean is don't save the good stuff. What I want to remind you of is that joy is a quality of God. Therefore, joy is a quality of you. I want you to make room for joy. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you deserve joy. So make room for it. And sometimes that looks like eating dessert first. All right. Remember, chocolate is a health food. Okay. Jumping forward, the rest of the general suggestions: do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like to you today. Definitely drink plenty of water. Hydrate. Your brain works better when it is well hydrated. And I encourage you to get early in your day bright light. What I'm talking about, now I'm talking about science here, a circadian rhythm. When you get that early in your day bright light, and I'm talking about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes on your face and your face and your forearms. 1, it helps with vitamin D. 2, it helps to reset your hormones, where you'll have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. It's called a circadian rhythm. And if you get up before the sun, artificial light will help. Okay, so it doesn't have to just be sunlight, especially if you're one of those really early birds who gets up before the sun does. I like to get up with the sun, apparently, not before. I'm kind of cranky in the mornings if you wake me up before the sun. So that's just who I am. So, all right. And as always, I'm going to remind you to open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Now, Ernest says, open the windows of your soul. What does that mean? I will tell you, for me, good music. I was on Instagram the other day, saw a band that I hadn't listened to in a while this morning. So this morning when I went to the park, I was like, I'm going to scroll back to the 90s and listen to this band. And it was good, you know, and that's what, so there are multiple ways to open the windows of your soul. Music is just one of them. Because what you want to come to the understanding is heaven is a mindset. Heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It's not a place we have to get to, but a mindset that we can create. Once we learn that, heaven ceases to be a place and can become any place. And when you learn that superpower, you move through the world differently. Our goal in Science of Mind is to create a world that works for everybody. Well, that's one of the ways we do it, by creating that heavenly mindset. Then we become a safe place for other people because we've done our work. All right. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will absolutely get you everywhere. I promise. Try it. You'll like it. All right. Jumping forward into, I'm going to do the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I thoroughly encourage you to go and check them out. I'm leaning a little harder into the YouTube because I know there's great content on that, and all the rest of the social media's got a little weird, made sharing a little more difficult. So we're not as active on them as we used to be. I do try. So, just be on the lookout for that. I caught a rainbow the other day. I ought to share that. I'll go do that. Okay. I just have to scroll back past all the squirrel pictures that I took today. All right. So please feel free to check out all of the content. I will remind you that we, if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That is our constant contact email. And in that email, the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll either take you right to the information or it will take you to the, it will take you to the person that can help you get it. All right. Clearly I need to get off of this. Probably just need to go get something to eat. All right. So I got the email. Oh, I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a consciousness day, a consistent day, a recognizing... what is it that what was the mission? What was the mission? To be open to the possibilities day. There it is. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion, God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Know the truth of your being. Know the truth of your being. Get to know the truth of your being if you don't know the truth of your being. That is who you are. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.